both be at Media Day at Rogers Center on Thursday and at games one and two over the weekend in Toronto before we fly uh, from Canada and across the country to Los Angeles for three, four, and five. Uh, John, obviously, the Blue Jays are going to be staggering underdogs in this series. And we've covered plenty of series where staggering underdogs have won. The 1990 Reds were staggering underdogs to the A's and swept the A's. The one I hearkened to last night, just because it began with a limping slugger, Kirk Gibson, the Dodgers, coincidentally, were the huge underdogs in 1988 against the Bash brother, against Sandy Alderson and Tony La Russa's Bash brother A's. Gibson hits the homer in game one with a hamstring and a knee injury and kind of gimps around. It reminded me of Springer, who took a 96-mile-an-hour fastball off his right knee from Brian Wu, and like really looked like he was struggling on, especially game six, where he was down on his knees a lot and he didn't run really well. But man, that is a clutch player. They put the ball in play. And John, I know there's upsets. I don't know how this team, because of starting pitching, gets through the Dodger lineup and limits enough runs where the Blue Jays could do enough damage against what is the best rotation in the sport, pitching its best. Please convince me, hey, small sample size otherwise, because I'd love it to be a
Yeah.
series since I'm doing all this traveling for it. But I mean, it looks rough for me. It feels like the Blue Jays won their championship last night.
Yeah, I'll go back to what you started with. Anyone can win. It's a small series, short series. Of 162 games, they did win more games than the Dodgers. Of course, the Dodgers were playing load management. Snell barely performed in the regular season. Now he's the best pitcher in the game. So, I mean, obviously the Dodgers are going to be overwhelming favorites. But what's an overwhelming favorite in a best of seven series? Not just the Reds, the Pirates in 1960, but you really don't have to go back that far. The underdog has won a lot, and it's because anybody can win in baseball. I mean, obviously the Blue Jays are a really good team. They have stars, which it seems to take stars. I think that's why these small market teams don't do it. And we'll talk to Pat Murphy later, but why do these small market teams not do it? They don't have an Ohtani. They don't have a Vlad Guerrero. They don't have a Raleigh. They don't have, big players like this, and it seems like those players do rise to the occasion. I know we have the Lemkes and the other, Doyle, the World Series heroes that are surprises, but ultimately it's a big help to have Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, and that's why the Dodgers are going to be the big favorite. But Toronto's a good, well-rounded team. It only takes four wins. Anything can happen in a baseball game, as we saw last night as we do this. So certainly they can win. Am I picking Toronto? I mean, it's tough to do that. I should probably consult with Mike Puma, who at the beginning of the year had Toronto against the Dodgers. I think we all probably had the Dodgers, unless you're a real gambler. But to pick Toronto at the beginning of the year, I didn't see it. I think I kind of made fun of them early on with that pick. Right.
Mike Puma, of course, our Mets beat writer. John, the one thing, as just a wrap up for this, I wonder if you have a thought on it, is we also covered the Yankee dynasty, which was the last time a team won back-to-back titles. The Yankees won three in a row from 1998 to 2000. And there were two things about that. Well, there was a lot about that team, but temperamentally, there was kind of a calm that came over that team at this time of year. They just kind of felt like when they got to 27 outs, they would have more runs than the other team. And so they never kind of got flustered. They were behind 3-2 or something. They knew Rivera was sitting at the end if they had a lead. And they just had a lot of reps doing it, and they got great at it. And there felt like an inevitability to their winning after a while. I, I'm starting to feel it about the Dodgers a little bit. You were with them for these rounds. You feeling it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a dynasty. They're in a dynasty. They've been in the playoffs 13 years in a row. They won the division 12 years in a row. If they win the championship, this will be three times in 6 years World Series champion. It is a legit dynasty. They have an amazing amount of talent. They know it. I mean, even the guys who aren't good in the regular season or pretty good, but not great, like Edman and particularly Kike Hernandez, become great in the postseason. But do they even need them to be great? They've got Betts, Otani's the best player probably since Babe Ruth or ever. Betts is an all-time great, and Freeman to me, first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's not even doing it justice. On one ankle last year, he eliminated the Yankees in the World Series. So I mean, they've got three absolute superstars. They've got at least four Hall of Famers. I'm not even counting Dave Roberts, who I think is an underrated manager. They have an overwhelming team. They coasted through the regular season. They didn't mind playing that first round against the Reds. It was a that was one where I would have had a hard time saying, even in a 2 out of 3, that Cincinnati could have won that. Yeah, I mean, they really certainly are a confident team. And by the way, Betts is an outstanding shortstop. I mean, I thought when we first saw him, I thought he was well below average at the start, which why wouldn't he be? He's an outfielder. He's outstanding. I think he's one of the best shortstops in baseball right now. Yeah, that to me is amazing.
Yeah, it's almost like they're toying with everyone. Their right fielder's playing shortstop. The starter, everyone was going after is closing. Otani pitches and hits. It's like it's a fantasy camp for the Dodgers. John, when Freeman was a free agent, and I was writing advocating that the Yankees should go hard after him. The comp I made as an offensive player was George Brett, who I thought he hit like, and I thought he would age like. Brett hit until he was 40. I actually think, and also hit big in the postseason. And I think we're seeing all that from
I
Freddie
just want
Freeman.
to say on that, yeah, I mean, the Yankees did go hard after him. It never really came out because he had told his agent once the Matt Olson trade happened and he went to Atlanta and he was out of a job in Atlanta. He told his agent, "Get me home." Basically, that was it. That was a three-word message, and Excel, Casey Close had to get him to the Dodgers, and that was it. He wanted to go home at that point. He didn't go to the Yankees. The Yankees would have been happy to pay him more than that. And he didn't want to do it. When I talked to him about this during the LCS, his answer is, "Oh, they never made an offer. They never made an offer." Yeah, well, you didn't let them make an offer. The Yankees would have been happy to sign him. I don't know that was they were listening to you, but they were on that page and would have signed him happily had they had that opportunity.
Let's table it. I think the chronology by then is they already had re-signed Judge's pal Anthony Rizzo, right?
That could be. You're better at that than I am.
Yeah, I think
I
I
don't.
think that they, after the lockout,
Yeah.
whatever happened then.